What if everything you think you know about the Iraq and United States conflict is wrong? For years people have asked a simple question. Who is winning? The United States, with the most powerful military on earth? Or Iraq, a nation that has endured decades of war, sanctions, and instability? At first glance, the answer seems obvious. But the deeper you look into the history of this conflict, the more complicated that answer becomes, because wars are rarely decided only on the battlefield. They are decided by politics, economics, public opinion, and the long-term consequences that follow long after the fighting ends. To understand who is winning, we need to go back to where the modern conflict truly began. In 1990, Iraq invaded Kuwait. The move shocked the world. Almost immediately, the United States formed an international coalition and launched Operation Desert Storm. Within weeks, the Iraqi military was pushed out of Kuwait. From a military perspective, the United States had achieved a clear victory. But the story did not end there. Saddam Hussein remained in power in Iraq, and tensions between the two countries continued throughout the 1990s. Economic sanctions placed heavy pressure on Iraq's economy. Meanwhile, the United States maintained a strong military presence in the region. For more than a decade, the situation remained tense, but relatively stable. Then everything changed in 2003. The United States launched a full invasion of Iraq. The goal was to remove Saddam Hussein from power and eliminate what were believed to be weapons of mass destruction. The invasion moved quickly. Within weeks, Baghdad fell. The Iraqi government collapsed. From a purely military standpoint, the United States had once again achieved rapid success. But the real challenge was just beginning. After the fall of Saddam Hussein, Iraq entered a period of deep instability. Insurgent groups emerged across the country. Violence increased. American troops suddenly faced a new kind of war, one fought not against a traditional army, but against decentralized militant groups. Roadside bombs became one of the most dangerous threats. Cities that had once been under control turned into battlegrounds. For American soldiers, the conflict became longer and more complicated than anyone had expected. Meanwhile, Iraqi civilians faced daily uncertainty. Infrastructure had been damaged. Government institutions struggled to rebuild. Communities were divided by political and religious tensions. Years passed. Thousands of American service members lost their lives. Hundreds of thousands of Iraqis were killed or displaced. The financial cost of the war for the United States grew into the trillions of dollars. And slowly, a difficult question began to appear in political discussions. What does winning actually mean? If winning means removing Saddam Hussein from power, the United States succeeded. If winning means establishing a new Iraqi government, that also eventually happened. But if winning means creating long-term stability and peace, the answer becomes more complicated. Because Iraq's path after the invasion was not smooth. Extremist groups gained influence during the chaos. One of the most dangerous groups that emerged was ISIS. For several years, ISIS controlled large parts of Iraq and Syria. Cities were captured. Millions of people were displaced. Once again, the United States returned to Iraq, this time helping Iraqi forces fight against ISIS. After years of intense fighting, ISIS lost most of its territory. Iraqi forces, supported by international allies, regained control of major cities. Today, Iraq continues rebuilding its institutions, economy, and security forces. The United States still maintains influence in the region, but its direct military presence is far smaller than it once was. So, when people ask who is winning between Iraq and the United States, the answer depends on how you define victory. Militarily, The United States demonstrated overwhelming strength during both major invasions.